absent from Ms. Mary Tisdale. She's speaking concerning Hastings and Youngblood.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just thanking the Lord we're all here, and we're all safe. I'm a parent of 2 girls in Educ. I had 4 sons that came out of there already, they graduated already. I have Mr. Tyree, and he promised something to me he couldn't deliver. He made a promise to me that if it was something that happened on the district end, that he would make it right. Mr. Tyree avoided it. I had to keep calling the superintendent's office to get assistance. I left Mr. Tyree message after message after message. Miss Jessica, I called her. She called him instantly. He called me. Mr. Tyree made up stuff that we were having issues with our communication when he knew all he did was lie about the situation. Dr. Page did a 3-way call with me and Mr. Tyree, and he lied on the call with her. I hung up the phone. I will not allow the Alief district to deny my daughters the right for education in this world. We got Miss Montgomery, Eddie Montgomery, awesome. Jessica, awesome. Miss Pope, awesome. Miss Sweeney, awesome. Principal Sanders is awesome. Tyree, Emily, horrible. And Mr. Chambers, I left trying to get in touch with him 2 months straight. 2 months straight. I called and called and called. I'm a working parent too. My husband worked out of town. I'm the one home with the children. And I'm working from home. I never got a call back from Mr. Chambers for 2 months. I called and called and called and called and called. Finally, when I filed a complaint through the district on the line to make a complaint, I came up here. I was out there, stood out there, and I was told that the administrator was not here due to someone came in the building with COVID. It was the first day of in-person learning, so I knew they was lying. This is something that Alief does. They lie and lie, and they have people backing them up and their lies, and I don't appreciate it. Then we had a teacher there, Mr. Rodriguez, who's still out. Still out. He's a Spanish teacher. He's out.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. And could you pause for time for me, Gerard? I'm sorry to interrupt you. On 3 occasions, you've named employees, and we ask that you not do that. In addition to that, someone needs to silence their cell phone. It is inappropriate for that to interrupt when people are speaking.
Okay, well,
When
when I'm having issues with direct names, I need y'all to know that. I'm a parent, I pay my taxes, I will call the names again. I don't have to be here, but I will let the news know, just like Mr. Chambers, go on the news and make time for them, but don't make time for the parents, people with concerns. I'm important too. My child is important too. My children have to live in this world. Mr. Rodriguez, Spanish teacher, is out, I believe, with COVID. No one was handling his class. Basics, no one. No teacher. My daughter didn't have a teacher for 2 weeks. 2 whole weeks online, no one. I had to call up here and find out what was going on. Then I was told, her principal told me he didn't even know that the gentleman was out. Didn't make sense. But yet still, my child only can go to class 2 days out of the week. They're not learning anything, nothing. And I told Mr. Chambers, he finally called me after 2 months of me being on the phone. Miss Jessica knows it. I called and called and called and called. Miss Montgomery knows it. All of them know it. I'm spending all my time with ABs trying to get things handled. That's not my job. I have my own job. And you guys don't seem to care because you said limit to 5 minutes. You can't say people's names. You can't do this, can't do that. What can you do? They don't answer the phone. They don't call people back. What can I do? Like I said, I came up here and I was glad and told us administrators wasn't even here. And it was the first day of in-person learning, and I know they was here. I went out to my car, I made the call from the name that the lady gave me. The lady said, that's not true. They are there. I came back in and told the security guard what I was told. He went outside and looked for Mr. Chambers' car. He said, well, Mr. Chambers is not here. But later on that day, Mr. Chambers called me. So what I'm saying to you guys as the board, stop telling people what they can and cannot do, and do what you can do.
Come on.
That's what needs to happen. Because Mary Tisdale will go to the news too. And guess what? Seriously speaking, I think I told Mr. Chambers this, and I know I told Ms. Montgomery and Ms. Sanders.
Ms. Tisdale, I'm going to ask again. It is not, could you pause for time for me, Gerard?
Why you don't want me to say people name? If I got issues with you,
Because I
how am I going to know? So you're not everything else. Drop the mic, because that's what y'all doing. Y'all ain't doing nothing in the AD.
Thank you, Ms. Canfield.
You know.
So guys, I am going to reiterate, this is not a policy that Ms. Williams made up or something that the board wants to do.
Now it's a matter. It's the ones that have the issue. It's not everybody that has the issue. You got certain ones, and they're the ones y'all need to deal with, so you need to get those names.
Thank you, Ms.
You
Canfield.
do need to get those names. You do. Because I saw Channel 13, just like Mr. Chapman said there was 13. They didn't make time. I don't think nobody did this.
Come on now.
Channel 13.
I think you're talking about, thank you. I am going to reiterate for those who are listening and who may think that this is just something that a board member wants to do, and I know I'm recorded and it will be talked about for it, but I'm going to reiterate that we do have a process that I encourage every stakeholder that communicates with me. Just like I have to stay within the guides as a board member to do my duty here, it is expected that everyone follow that same guideline. I would never read it if it was not a requirement. GF local and DGBA local are ways to seek resolutions to complaints. We do ask that names not be called, and it's for the protection of not just the employees, but the protection of the students as well. At this time, we have another patron that's coming forward. At this time, as stated, this portion of the meeting is open for public comments regarding the targeted improvement plan. Is there one that will speak? Would you like to
Go to the mic. Okay.
Greetings, Damon Barone, Alief Board, parent, taxpayer, and alumnus. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about this. I think the most important thing that I heard tonight about from the presentation is that adult behavior affects student outcome. As a parent sitting in the room, it hurt me to not have you all appear to see the tide of things together. You talked about enrollment, and if we brought one child back to the campus, it was worth it. But yet we may have possibly lost one or two children by the way that parent left out of this room earlier. We wouldn't have to go seeking children if adult behavior was different. She poured out her heart to this board, stating that she was reached out several times to
forgive me, Mr. Barone, for interrupting you. The public hearing portion is regarding the targeted improvement.
Right, I'm talking about adult behavior. Y'all are adults. I'm talking about the behavior that was presented earlier and how we could have possibly lost a student or two because of your behavior and failure to empathize with them. Yet when Mr. Wood stood up here and got choked up, and all of a sudden we want to get emotional about a staff employee, but not a child that you're looking for funding. So if we're going to talk about adult behaviors, let's talk about all of the adult behaviors and how all of those things tie into education.
I'm sorry, Mr. Barone. I'm going to ask again that you please keep your statement regarding the targeted improvement plan. We understand your reprimand of the board about adult behavior.
I'm on the adult behavior part that was in the slide in the presentation still. So,
Do you have a question to ask them?
yeah, I do have an additional question.